Okay, now we're ready to do quick split. Over here in the tree, you can see that the assembly is active, and in order to do quick split, we want to be inside one of these part files. So I double click on the part file, it turns into bold. The other parts dim out. I'll hide it as well. And we're going to go here under parting to quick split. And this is new in version 10. It's actually a lot nicer than previous versions. The way that quick split works now is you set the direction. Probably the direction right now is fine, but let's do it anyways. I'm going to choose cylindrical conic center. I can pick any one of these bosses and get the draw direction going according to that boss, or we could choose normal to a face or a plane and pick one of these guys. There's a lot of different ways we can define the direction. Alright, and then we pick on a surface that we know belongs on the cavity side, and then we set the condition. This is like think of it as a stop condition. You're saying go out looking at neighboring surfaces and include them in this direction up until this condition. So if I have it set to minus 0.1, we can expect that all the vertical faces are going to go to this side, and if I set it to positive 0.1, we can expect that it would stop and not include any of the vertical faces. So I'm okay with this for right now, and I choose Start Analysis. Alright. It draws little purple circles on the areas where there's trapped conditions. So here it says that I'd like to include this face, but it's trapped around these ones. And it's okay as long as we know about it. We can deal with it later. So I'm going to hit the small check mark. Then we flip the arrow to look at the other side. Now this time, if we leave this alone, it's going to go looking from this direction, and it's going to re-grab all the vertical faces. So we either want to change this amount, or we can say ignore assigned faces. So now if any vertical faces are on the blue, they'll stay there because it's not going to reassign anything. So I pick a face that I know belongs in that direction. I choose Start Analysis. I'm going to hit the check mark. Okay, and there's a couple ones that got left. Alright, so now this optional step here is draft angle analysis, but it's taking into account the split directions. So I don't have an arrow anymore that I flip back and forth. It's looking at these surfaces from the cavity direction and these surfaces from the core direction. So any red that I would have would be bad. It would be an undercut. I see a lot of purple. I got a lot of vertical faces, but I don't see any red. Okay, now I have to decide where do these surfaces go. Well, over here on this tab, the parting tab, it's organizing things very nicely. So I can turn off the blue, and we'll rename this too in a minute. But what I'm doing is I'm kind of getting a feel for these surfaces, and I'm thinking, do those belong on the orange side? Clearly they don't. So I can turn this one on and turn this one off, and we can see that these surfaces clearly belong on the blue side. Okay, so I'm going to again spread it apart. I'm going to do a box pick with the left mouse. Then I middle click where I want it to go. It attaches to the blue. And we'll do the draft angle analysis again. And we can see that we have undercuts, which we probably would expect on account of the way that is. And over here, we see the draft that was drafted in the wrong direction. So we know we got a couple of issues, but it's okay as long as we know about them. Alright, let's hit save.